Taking place this weekend is going to be a rugby tournament, and that's very exciting because you know what? Youth rugby is gaining ground here in North Carolina. One woman leading the charge, Connie Colson, is the president of the North Carolina Youth Rugby Union, right? Connie, thank you.
Yes.
Working to grow this sport, certainly here in the Carolinas, but it's already taking off here in North Carolina. First of all, where are you from? You sound like you're from like rugby motherland.
Well, thank you very much for having me here. Thank you so much. Such a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Jane. I was born in Malaysia, to be honest, in a place called Borneo. It is the third largest island in the world, and it is a colonial. It was under the British colony. Therefore, rugby existed already in the 1960s, 1950s. My father played rugby. My brothers played rugby. Yeah, so I was born there, and then I grew up in England. So the exposure to rugby was very much experienced in England. However, it wasn't very direct because the school I was at did not have rugby for girls.
Oh,
Only
okay.
boys have rugby.
Yeah.
Girls watched and played netball and played hockey. I played hockey and played any other sport but rugby.
And so how did you end up here in the Tar Heel State?
Well, our family business brought us here. My husband's from New Zealand, Bruce Colson. In fact, I do blame him for my involvement in rugby. He is a gung-ho advocate for rugby. He played rugby. We both coach. I coached the Huskies girls high school rugby club, and my husband coached the Huskies boys high school rugby club. And together we have founded a youth rugby called Falcons Rugby in the Lake Norman area, and we helped fellow coaches to co-found the Charlotte club called the Charlotte Cardinals. Youth Rugby Club. And because of our business, it brought us to New Zealand. We were in the sheet pile industry, and we hunted down rugby clubs to be able to decide where to live.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
We followed our rugby nose to see, okay, if this place has rugby, we're good. But initially we were supposed to be in Houston, Texas, in the Woodlands, and Woodlands have a really great rugby environment. However, we spent a summer there, and it was absolutely hot. And coming from Malaysia, I've lived in 7 countries. My last country was in Hong Kong. And summer was excruciating, so I did not like heat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you wanted mild?
Yes, I wanted
temperatures.
mild. We had no idea about North Carolina. A Canadian friend, in fact, a Canadian associate in business said, I lived in Davidson. Maybe, Bruce, you should take your wife to Davidson, North Carolina.
By the lake.
We didn't know there was a lake. and then we spent 20 days in Birkdale and engaged a real estate agent who took us around the lake, around the area of Davidson and Huntersville and Lake Norman, and we checked out Myers Park, and yes, well, we fell in love.
You got a good little taste of the Charlotte metro area between
Yes.
Lake Norman, Lake Life. And so talk to me about the sport, right? American football, born from rugby soccer.
Correct, yes.
Okay, and that's pretty much all I know. And I know scrum, and that is a fascinating formation to look at. But the rugby scene here then, how is it?
The youth rugby is growing, and it is growing at a pace that is exponential. When we arrived 6 years ago, and that was COVID year. Yeah. So pre-COVID, almost every school had a team representing. Unfortunately, post-COVID, obviously everything just fell through. And so we are on a reset mission to be able to reach that numbers again, to be able to grow awareness and say, hey, come back to rugby. You know, we would love to have you back. One of the challenges that we find currently in growing the sport is field space, not having enough field space. Yeah, and obviously with all the other sports vying for this precious field sport, so we also have to queue up and and wait for our opportunity to be able to use these facilities. I am on a mission to grow girls rugby.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a mission very close to heart.
Love it.
Yes, and because I'm coaching a girls' school, so girls' club, so it is something that I want to share to every girls out there to take the opportunity to try something new. You know, it's new. It's something you've never done before. Get out of your comfort zone, and you never know, you might be good at it.
Yeah, I mean, what kind of skills does it teach, and who is the right player for you, or does it matter?
Rugby is a game for all.
Game for all.
Shape. Yep, for all shape and sizes. Regardless of your skills, you can have 2 left feet, 2 right hand. It doesn't matter.
They look very coordinated doing this drill, by the way.
That takes time.
Oh, okay.
It takes practice. So yes, if you have talents, which will take you a long way, obviously. But the fact, if you have interest and curiosity, that's already a great start for rugby. To be able to join a team where everybody is needed. So this is a sport that has no tryouts.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
A rugby is where you show up and you play. Every player is important in a rugby game. Although obviously we have positions, we have the forward packs, and then we have the backs. So when you are talking about the scrum is a high energy tussle for the forward packs. And if you look at and most people will refer to the adults game, because they'll see this for the men,
big
humongous
dudes.
Totally. They are huge. And so there will be the scrum is, in fact, it's a close contact where for 8 forward packs, they bind together, and then the scrum half will feed the ball in the center, and then they'll have to hook the ball to the back of their team. The person who hooked the ball is called a hooker. It's the only sport that utilizes that term, and actually
That is appropriate.
Yes.
It's okay to be called the hooker in rugby.
And proud of it.
Okay,
Yes.
and be proud of it.
Yes.
And Connie, so what regions or areas are you looking to prioritize your search in expanding the sport here in North Carolina or the Charlotte area?
Primarily for the girls zone, obviously we are looking at all the major counties. When I say major, only because of the convenience. Yeah. There have been quite a few inquiries for us to set up rugby clubs, but again, the population is not there. So and maybe they don't have the support of coaches. So we need places like Raleigh. We need places in Durham, in Southern Pines, in Clayton areas, and we need places in there's a place in called Sand Hills Shark. There's a club there that's looking for players. We need players everywhere, all over North Carolina. Yeah, Charlotte primarily we have 2 teams. We have the Charlotte Cardinals, and we have the Huskies Rugby. Right now is our spring club season, so we are actively playing our game. We have a game last weekend which was hosted by Clayton, and these are youth and high school. So we are constantly recruiting. So come and join, come down to whichever club that's close to you. If you don't know which club that's close to you, reach out to us. We're at ncyru.com. Yeah, we have our Instagram, we have our Facebook. Yeah, just reach out and we will direct you to the club or to the people that are involved.
Age range?
Age range for the youth, we have under 8 all the way through under 14s, boys and girls.
Okay.
Yeah, and for the high school, obviously, it's all grade. Yeah, under 19.
And as for parents, of course, they ask about safety protocols. What is entail, like as far as the physicality of the sport?
Yes, well, rugby is a very physical sport. Mm-hmm. It is one of the most high contact sport, which again requires, so the bigger the hits, the bigger the love. That's what I say.
The bigger the love, okay.
Oh yes, you have, it's the bigger the love.
Yeah.
And in rugby, it's a very specific and technical sport because the rules says you are not allowed to tackle above the sternum. Every tackle must be made below the sternum. Yeah, the head should be out of contact. Yeah, you need to wrap your players. Therefore, which means if you're wrapping, then you're falling with them. So the person with a rugby ball, this is size 5 rugby ball.
Yeah, let's look at.
So the size 5 rugby ball, they need to be holding on to the ball like this, and when a tackler comes towards them, the tackler needs to be wrapping their arms around the ball carrier, not up here but below. So this helps towards ensuring safety for the players. And this is a rules that governs the entire rugby community and globally.
It's fascinating, and really, I mean, these pictures show kids that are that start really young. You said under 8, so
Yes.
that's great. If you want to get your kids and students involved in a sport and a discipline and
Yes.
some teamwork. I mean, so many of these values that sports teaches anyway, right,
Yes,
Connie?
yes, correct. Yes, it certainly does bring you out of your shell. A team sport really helps hone your social skills to be able to talk to people. It builds up confidence, and again, you don't have to know everything to start.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
sold.
And parents, a
Maybe
lot
I'll
of parents would like to join a rugby game. I know because
Oh,
I'm there on the
exactly.
sideline and I can hear them whispering, wishing that they have, they've had rugby when they were in school. It's not too late.
It's not too late. Even if you're a woman of a certain age, okay. All right, Connie, you brought some signs and props and
Yes.
all these goodies. Let's look at this.
Oh,
What do we have here? We have the
I have to show you
rugby
this.
rules.
Yes, the rugby rules.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Great. We can see all that.
So-
Beautiful. These are kids. Referees are human.
Referees are human. That's important.
All those not stage parents. What do they call them on the sidelines when they're just yelling at the coach?
Oh, I just call them spectators.
Spectators.
Well-mannered spectators.
Well-mannered spectators. You are being respectful.
Yes.
All right. volunteers. You're good with volunteers?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. What else?
Yeah.
Anything?
Yeah.
And then the tournament.
we have. I need to show you this. Yeah.
That's a little bit bigger.
Yeah, this is not a size 5 ball. This is our division winner ball.
Wow,
So
that's
every
like
year,
bigger.
NC1RU organizes the Carolina Rugger Fest. And this is held, this year it was held on February 28th to March 1st at Matthews Sportsplex. And there's 7 fields, all fully occupied. We have about 89 teams coming from all over the country and overseas. We have approximately 1,777 kids playing rugby over the weekend.
Oh,
Yep,
Amazing.
it was fantastic, and the age division was from under 10 all the way through under 14 and high school boys and girls.
all right. Anything else we need to know, Connie, before we let you go?
Well, parents, I really from another parent. I have 3 kids.
Do they play?
They play. My 2 boys play. My older boy, Zach. I know, yeah, it's hard to throw that ball.
You're gonna break this
I'm messing up with the equipment. Okay.
Sharif, look away.
Look away. Look away.
Yes, yes.
So you have 2 boys that play.
Yeah, I have 2 boys that play. My older boy, he goes to Queen's University of Charlotte and he plays in the rugby team there on scholarship. And my youngest, who plays for the Charlotte Cardinals Red, their team, both of them have, their team, the Charlotte Cardinals, have won nationals 2 years ago and was runners-up last year. So as a parent, I would like to reach out to other parents out there. Allow your kids to try out new sport, and allow them to be curious. Allow them to make friends through sport. And rugby is a sport that does this. It doesn't discriminate. Regardless of how well you do at school, whatever background. This is a safe platform for children to learn to play sport and also to learn lessons about life.
Love it.
Yep, and when you get tackled, you get down, and it's the only sport that when a ball carrier gets tackled, you have to rely on your teammates to come over to hover over you to protect you. You have to. So, which is why everybody that shows up on a rugby field is absolutely needed.
It's great.
Yeah, girls,
Yeah, teamwork.
come.
Girl power.
Come. Yes, come play rugby. Come play rugby.
You can't even toss the ball like this, right? Right? It's like
Not that one, but you can do
don't you
this.
toss it to the side? Sign me up. Here, Carlene. Oh gosh. Wait, you can't just. It's
Not
not
that
over.
one. No,
It's
You-
this way.
Yeah, so you can only toss. You can only pass the rugby ball either sideways or behind. So no forward passes. The only way you can take the ball forward, is to you either kick it forward and run.
Okay, you're behind.
There you go.
No,
Oh,
I did it to the side. And she did a turn.
Yeah, so we have.
Girl for the Clippers.
That's right. And then to score a try, you have to ground the ball with your hands.
Okay.
Yeah, not like football where you just run to the end zone or smash it down onto
No
the ground. You
smashing.
must ground the ball to,
It's like,
onto
oh,
the field.
very, very gentlemanly.
Yeah.
Gentlewomanly.
Well,
Gentlewomanly.
that's right, gentlewomanly. Yeah.
Gentle-
And you have we have two divisions of two formats of the sport. We have the contact, the tackle rugby, and we also have touch rugby. So touch rugby was developed as a training tools for players who are playing contact.
Okay.
Yeah, without the contact.
So you can build into contact.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh,
so we have youth kids that we teach them touch rugby, and it's part of our warm up drill, and you know that anyone who's new to rugby can join through that.
That's great. I'm sold. I really am.
WCNC rugby crew coming up.
Maybe touch is more like, we're on
Yes,
TV,
touch.
so you know, touch
Yeah,
might be
yeah.
more, might be more
You know.
of the move.
Got the money maker.
Right?
Got to protect that, my eyes and all that stuff. Connie Colson from North Carolina, Youth Rugby Union. The website one more time.
Yeah, ncyrU.com.
YRU.com.
NCYRU, or get us on Facebook or Instagram.
Well, that was great, and I really, I agree. All of the disciplines that you learn, that you take off the field, that's what sports and team sports particularly give young kids as they grow up. So, great stuff there. Thanks, Connie. Appreciate
very
it. That was
much.
fun. Got to work on my what is this called? A toss?
Your pass.
Oh, my pass.
Yeah, your
my
pass.
pass. All right. I'm going to
We'll get
pass
there.
this to the break. Well deserved. Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. We'll see you in 2.